What does it take to change the world? Sometimes the price is everything, even your own life. This is the story of Sigmund Freud, the man who invented modern therapy and in the process destroyed himself. Like most things, there are three sides to Freud's story. There's the story he told himself, a man on a mission to decode the mysteries of the human psyche, the one people tell about him, that he was deranged, cocaine addicted, and sexually perverse, a lunatic drowning in a pool of his own theories. And then there's the truth. After reading dozens of papers, diving deep into the world of Freud, and interviewing Freudian experts, we've put together the story of a man who ravaged his own mind in his quest to change the world. It's Saturday in the small community of Hampstead, England. The lush gardens of Maresfield create a picturesque background for the tragedy that's about to unfold. An exiled figure lays in an invalid couch just a few feet away from what would be his legacy, the psychoanalytic couch. It's been 7 decades of service to neurology. Successes and failures run through his mind as he slowly fades to darkness. His breathing becomes more labored as the years of cigar smoking have taken their toll. Mouth cancer is the diagnosis, and there's not much time left. The pain is extreme, but this suffering must end on his own terms. The doctor can't endure this pleading anymore, so he grants the man's final request, administering a lethal dose of morphine. The date is September 23rd, 1939. Sigmund Freud is dead. Death's relationship with great minds is one that's always captivating. Often tragic, it evokes a warning to those who dare seek meaning in the void that is life. For Freud, death's ironic twist met him on an insignificant couch, steps away from the embodiment of his life's work. An ending that mirrors the pain that Marie Curie endured from radiation poisoning, the results of her own scientific discoveries. Although these pioneers experienced tragic endings, there's a poetic undertone to their fates. It's like the myth of Icarus. Icarus and his father, Daedalus, were imprisoned on an island. A determined craftsman, Daedalus devised a plan to escape, creating wings made of feathers and wax. But before they took to the skies, Daedalus warned Icarus about flying too close to the sun, concerned about the heat melting his wax away. He also cautioned him on flying too close to the sea, as the moisture would weigh his feathers down. But the excitement of flight overcame Icarus, and he soared high, daring to reach above the clouds. As he inched closer to the sun, the wax melted and his wings fell apart, leaving him to plummet into the sea and drown. For Icarus, the flight was a chance to rise above where none had dared to cross. This frames the struggles of pioneers brilliantly. An ambitious mind succumbing to a cruel fate for defying the norm. Like Icarus, they flew. And in Freud's case, his work was the foundation of modern psychology. Yet, like Icarus, Freud flew too close to the sun, and as a result, his violent descent into the depths of human struggle was unavoidable. To understand what made Freud's fall so devastating, we have to go back to the beginning, and to help us out is Karen Doherty.
I'm Karen Doherty. I'm a psychotherapist and a psychoanalyst and a documentary filmmaker. I'm in Amaranth, Ontario, rural Ontario. I'm part of the Toronto Psychoanalytic Society. That's where I trained. And I'm the host of the Canadian Psychoanalytic Society podcast, Conversations in Psychoanalysis Today.
Born on May 6, 1856, in a time when religion defined society, Sigmund Freud's life was that of a true outsider. Being Jewish in the Catholic town of Freiburg, now called Pribor, located in the Czech Republic, Freud felt the mental anguish of alienation early on. Pushing religion to the side, he embraced atheism, further distancing himself from the people he was closest to.
Freud was kind of anti-religion. For him, it's a little bit of a symptom. It's wishful thinking. For him, it's Oedipal to believe in God. It's like you want there to be an all-perfect father who tells you what to do and so on and punishes if you don't do it. But he really did think of religion as problematic, for sure.
Freud's family was far from ordinary. His father, Jacob, was a wool merchant who had been married twice. His mother, Amélie, was Jacob's second wife and 20 years his junior. By the time Freud was born, he already had a nephew, John, who was a year older than him. Freud grew up in a household with unusual dynamics. His connection with his mother was even weirder. They were intensely close. Some might say too close. Family roles were blurred, and this confusion may have left an effect that shaped his later theories on familial relationships. Yes, the ones he's now infamous for. Freud was a lot like that one person that we all know. The one that can't let a debate go until they've made their point. His competitive drive wasn't just about winning, it was about uncovering truths, even if they were uncomfortable. And Freud's love for dispute was evident even in his childhood. While intense, this same drive led him to revolutionize our understanding of the psyche, but it also came at the cost of pushing those around him away. Freud's need to be right would also eventually contribute to his downfall. Academically, Freud demonstrated excellence right away. He attended the Leopoldstädter Kommunal Realgymnasium, and it was here that he developed a strong interest in books. Freud was the kind of student who would stay up late reading Shakespeare, searching for the answers to the world's most fascinating mysteries. His teachers often praised his brilliance, but it wasn't pure intelligence that set him apart. It was his unending curiosity, and that growing appetite for knowledge laid the foundation for his intellectual pursuits, including his development of complex psychological theories. A pivotal moment for Freud came at the age of 17, when he stumbled upon a poem he initially thought was written by Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. At the time, he was unaware of the profound impact that it would have on him. The poem in question, Hymn to Nature, provided him with a flash of inspiration, steering him towards medicine as a pursuit. Ironically, it later would be revealed that the work was actually written by George Christoph Tobler, a devout Christian and pietist, not Goethe. Nonetheless, Freud found Goethe's other work to be the source of inspiration throughout his life, often citing him in his theories and essays. Looking back, it really feels like the wildest butterfly effect. Throughout Freud's life, seemingly random events were catalysts for his most compelling results. When he started attending medical school at the University of Vienna in 1873, he wasted no time establishing himself as a gold standard student, particularly when studying the physical structures of the brain. At this stage of his life, Freud saw himself as a scientist first and a physician second, an approach that helped shape his later focus on the mind's more abstract properties. In the late 1870s, Sigmund Freud met Dr. Josef Breuer, one of Vienna's top researchers and 15 years his senior. It was through Breuer that Freud discovered the talking cure, a treatment encouraging patients to address their symptoms through conversation. Breuer had a patient, Bertha Poppenheim, referred to as Anna O in his studies, who initially began hypnosis treatments with him for her hysteria. In these sessions, Breuer noted that she would spit out a continuous stream of words, leading the two of them to agree on trying a different approach that didn't involve hypnosis.
Yeah, see, this is the thing. Before Freud, really, when it comes to, sort of like hysteria or depression or madness, lunacy, what you have is, it's not pretty. It's madhouses. It looks like exorcism, mesmerism, maybe hypnotherapy, chains, people locked up. This is one of the most revolutionary things that he does is he decides that he's going to listen to the patient. That's the heart of psychoanalysis, listening, a very particular way of listening. That in itself is at the heart of all good psychotherapy, the relationship between the patient and the therapist. When the patient feels heard, recognized, tuned into, really listened to, they tend to get better.
Freud was fascinated by the idea that talking about one's problems could unlock hidden traumas. And after working with Josef Breuer, Freud began introducing the talking cure in his own practice. This influenced his development of free association, a method of treatment that focused on getting patients to talk about their darkest desires. The free association setup was simple. Have a patient lying on a comfortable and specially designed couch, communicating freely about their problems and desires. All while Freud listened intently, taking notes away from their line of sight. By peeling back their layers to uncover hidden desires, Freud believed that he could help these patients find the root causes of their suffering. This was the classic psychoanalyst setup, and it was a massive success. Today, modern therapy closely mirrors this. A patient lies on a comfortable couch, involved in an honest conversation while their therapist takes notes. The psychoanalysis setup was crucial, helping push Freud towards his groundbreaking theories. But this also worked as a double-edged sword, revealing Freud's own obsession with the process, specifically his hyperfixation on sexuality and the unconscious. Freud's relentless focus on these concepts was strange to his colleagues and critics, setting the stage for some of the consequences that would define his entire career. From Freud's point of view, all of his patients seemed to be driven by sex, but there was a huge hole in this conclusion. Many of Freud's patients were female, with most of them being bourgeois, or upper class. He believed in sex as a fundamental force shaping human behavior, and was determined to prove its role within the inner self. This idea would lead to his most controversial theories, such as penis envy and the Oedipus complex.